Today's homemade weapons video is going to be about how to take something like this. This is old school. It's like a pry bar, kind of a. It's tool steel. It's hardenable, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a throwing dart out of this. I'm going to cut this end off. I'm going to anneal the steel. That way I can work with it a lot easier, because right now a file wants to skate right off it. And then I'm going to turn it into a throwing dart that's balanced and you can kill people with if you really wanted to. So first step, I'm going to cut this end off. So how am I going to anneal this? I'm going to torch it. I'm going to get it cherry hot, and I'm going to let it air cool. I'm going to let it cool down all by itself. I'm not going to quench it, because I would harden it, and I'm trying to do the opposite of that. So I'm going to heat that baby till it's cherry red, let it sit for a while, and then let it cool off all by itself. Okay, so I just heated both sides up nice and cherry hot, and I'm going to let that cool down for a few hours. Then I'm going to get to working on it. I'll make a nice little throwing spike. So I finished, and my spike is ready to go. So I'm going to grind the tip down, then I'm going to balance it out. So I don't know how well you can see this, because it is nighttime. I'm going to try to get it to show up. But it is 13.5 inches long, I think. Or no, I'm sorry. It's 12 7/8. 12 3/4. And it is balanced perfectly in the middle. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to harden this by getting it nice and cherry hot, non-magnetic, and I'm going to do an oil quench. Then it's going to go in the oven for a temper at 425, and then another temper after I quench it in oil at 400. And then I'll quench it one more time, and then it'll be ready to go for throwing. But I've already tried it, and it definitely does stick, so that's a good thing. So it's the next day. I finished grinding out my torpedo. It's balanced perfectly in the middle. As you can see, there's no paint on the end because I don't have the ability to powder coat where I'm at, so spray paint will dress it up once you finish it. But let's check to see how well it throws and sticks. This is heavier than the torpedo. It's a wider diameter. It's pretty deadly. But I did balance it right in the middle, so it throws like a throwing knife. I also I hardened the steel, rehardened it. First I annealed it before I did any work to the steel, which softens it. And I did that by glowing it red hot, getting it non-magnetic, and letting it air cool. Then I worked it to where it was and balanced it, shined it up, polished it, whatever I, ground it down. Then I heated it up and did an oil quench. I heated it till cherry red, non-magnetic. Oil quenched it to harden it. Then I ran it through two annealing processes, one at 425 and one at 400. Both oil quenched right after. And let's see how it throws. That's the depth of the penetration. 12-foot throw. Oh man. That's when I put a little more steam on. I got it that deep. It was great. The key is to balance it right in the middle. That's a trick. Throwing knife, balance it right in the middle, it'll stick every time once you find your distance and your technique. Wow, this thing destroys 2x4s. Throws good from both ends. Nice. Wow. That's how deep it went in. Pretty good penetration. Not bad. This is, like I said, this is a piece of high carbon steel. It's been annealed, heat treated, and tempered, and it holds up pretty well. The tip looks good. I got no bendage, no nothing, both ends. And I would just wish I had the ability to powder coat, because then I wouldn't have to worry about this black coming off. But it's just a quick spray paint job just to clean it up once I get it done. But that's how I make a throwing spike, or whatever you want to call it. It's very similar to the Cold Steel Torpedo in function. Mine's a little heavier than theirs. This has a lot of weight. It's over a pound. It's pretty heavy. It hits good.